It's a little dark, but it's lighter than when we got up at 5 a.m.
It's 6:30 and we are getting ready to hike Angel's Landing. We are so excited.
We checked off another bucket list item.
Check.
We just finished hiking Angel's Landing at Zion National Park. We're actually back at the grotto, which is where we filmed the other Zion National Park video that we did that I'll put a link to. That was when we did pretty much the rest of the park.
Today was just about Angel's Landing, and we have been waiting for this since like forever. A couple years ago, they started a lottery system for Angel's Landing because it had just gotten too busy and too crowded, and it was really dangerous with how many people were up there. And so now you have to put in for a lottery, and you can either put in 4 months in advance or you can put in the day before. Well, since we were going to be here in Utah all summer, we put in for essentially any time from June 1st to September 1st, and we got August 16th. So near the end of our stay, but at least we got it. And it was super exciting. And so we've had this date on our calendar all summer and finally got to check it off. And it was really cool. I'm so glad that we actually got the opportunity to do it because that was just a really neat experience.
It is a very strenuous hike. I'm glad that we have spent the entire summer in Utah hiking and doing elevations and uphill both ways and that kind of stuff because I didn't think it was too bad, but we've been doing that all summer. And it is a strenuous hike. It is uphill just to get to Angel's Landing, tons of switchbacks. There are 21 of these.
Walter sure has a lot of wiggles. He's got to wiggle himself out.
Lots more uphill.
Lots of bouldering, rock climbing. I mean, there's a reason that the signs warn you all of these things and that they tell you in advance that it is not for, just an everyday stroll. And, the what are those things? The chain climb aside, even just to the Scout Lookout, which anybody can do without a permit, is pretty strenuous. It's kind of hard to see because it's built into the hill here, but we're climbing Walter's Wiggles, and Walter's Wiggles are the switchbacks that get you up to Angel's Landing. At least I think this is Walter's Wiggles. Maybe we're not even there yet, but it's been a lot of switchbacks, and the scenery is just really cool the higher you get. Okay, now we found Walter's Wiggles, and it's like wiggle, 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 all the way up this side. There's a lot of wiggles, there's a lot of switchbacks, and what was interesting to me, and I already knew this, I didn't read up on it, is it's paved, like all the way to Scout Lookout. And I think hiking on the paved trail was far worse than hiking anything else or on dirt because it is just you're just hitting that pavement the whole time, both up and down. And I don't know, it just seems a lot harder on the knees.
Yeah, I'm assuming they do it because of the incline that's there, the runoff and people hiking on it all the time. They'd be up there constantly closing that trail and trying to fix it if it was dirt. And so I think that's why they finally paved it. The Wiggles, it's Walter's Wiggles. It's named for, I don't know if it was the first superintendent, but one of the superintendents here at the park that wanted people to have access going up there. And so they built these 21 switchbacks back and forth, and they're known as Walter's Wiggles. And you can use those to get up there. And you take those all the way up to Scout Lookout. You can get that far. And then you need the permit to do the final ascent up to Angel's Landing, which is where you'll see the video of the chain section and people climbing over the rocks and that kind of thing. We made it to Scout's Lookout, which is where you can hike to on the Angel's Landing hike without a permit.
Right.
But if you want to go up somewhere up there to Angel's Landing, you got to have a permit.
But this is really pretty, so this would be worth the hike if you want to do it. It's still a gorgeous view up here. But, all right, here we go. We're going to try not to fall off the cliff because, as my mom said, I'm not allowed to become a Weather Channel headline. So I made a promise, so we'll see on the other side. Or actually, we'll see you up there.
Yeah, even just to Scout Lookout was a heck of a hike, and it's a beautiful hike. You get plenty of nice views from up there. So if you can't get the permit, at least do that part, and then you'll have an idea of what you need to go through when you're going to do Angel's Landing for real.
We made it!
Greetings from the top of Angel's Landing. We did the hike up. We still have to make the hike down, but this was the whole point. So if we don't make it down, we got to see the top.
And it's a little hard to see probably in the camera because the sun and the shadow, but it's really pretty up here.
If you can do it, highly recommended.
And that's a if you can do it in a couple ways, physically and if you can win the lottery. I mean, it's
To get a permit, yeah.
But this is so cool. Everybody's having so much fun up here. With the permit system, you're assigned one of two times. You can either go before 9 a.m. or after 9 a.m. But the shuttle doesn't start running until 6 a.m. So you basically have to start between 6 and 9. And that's when we were assigned. And so we were in line at 6 a.m. in the dark waiting for the shuttle.
The first shuttle of the day.
We were on the very first shuttle of the day. And we were not the only ones because not only were there people going to Angel's Landing, but there were also people going to the Narrows and to the other hikes that are going to be the all-day hikes. So
yeah, it was the first shuttle at 6 a.m. and it was full.
yes.
Yeah. The back car had standing room only.
You do have to watch because it gets busy. Like we hiked not by ourselves, but with relatively few people that first 6:30 to 7 time frame. By the time we were coming down at 10:30, it was packed and we were waiting a lot for people to go down, people to come up, people to go down, people to come up because those chains are really like one way.
The permit system obviously makes it tougher to be able to hike Angel's Landing, but if you get a chance, put in for the lottery. We got lucky in some way because it's the first time we put in for it and we won, but we also put in the entire summer. So if you have that chance where you can give them a lot of options, you're probably more likely to be given a permit than if you say, I only have 1 or 2 weekends, and that's something that could be harder for them to fulfill. But it is a bucket list item for a lot of people, and I think it should be.
It was really cool. And we did hear a number of people up there who had said this was the 3rd time they'd put in or, and they finally got it. And so I guess we are counting our blessings that we got it on the first try. Anyway, I don't know. It was worth it. I don't really have any other tips or tricks. Just go and enjoy it. And, hopefully if you do get here and you do get it, have fun and take lots of pictures because it's a really cool experience.
Put in for the lottery, make the most of it if you get that permit. In the meantime, keep on trekking.
And we'll see you out there.
As we've been visiting the national parks in Utah, we've been doing a lot of BLM camping. But this time we went ahead and booked a site at South Campground in Zion. We got lucky. The timing was just right. We were able to book a campsite, and that made that 2-minute drive so nice this morning.
Yeah, because when we had been here before, we stayed out, and it was about a 45-minute trip from our boondocking spot into the park. And so by staying at South Campground, it was, like you said, only 2 minutes from our campground to the visitor center. And so that meant we didn't have to get up quite so early this morning. And that was well worth it. I don't know if, again, that would work for everybody or your timing, again, with the lottery system and just availability. But that would be a good tip, would be try to stay in here if you're having to get up that early in the morning.